IVM.
Hello and welcome to Smile India with me, Shifa Maitra. Time for some more inspirational positive news from across the country. This is not about it being the cleanest city in India, which is commendable, but about one of its residents. Janak Palta has been working here relentlessly for the last 33 years, helping people improve their lives by living in harmony with nature. She actually belongs to Chandigarh and as a researcher happened to visit the city. The place had a pull and she felt like she could do a lot here. Given her background in sociology, the Baha'i Center asked her to help them build something for the women in the weaker segments of society. She rose to the occasion, and on the 6 acres outside the city, she began work. She put together a team and set up Barley. She won the trust of women, and soon they were learning life skills from her. Barley, in the local dialect, is the pillar in the center of the home that keeps things together. She empowered women to be like that and take pride in what they're doing. Here she met an Irishman who was a social worker, and they decided to build a life together and help the villagers around. They began a center where women were taught cooking via solar energy. That was truly a game changer. They built a home in the Sanvaria village where, with solar panels on the roof, they got free electricity. They set up windmills close by, and the villagers could harness power from the air as well. They did organic farming and taught villagers how they could grow what they eat. Janak even grows herbs and has cows. Soon the entire village was self sufficient. Janak lost her husband, but she continued living there and building a sustainable lifestyle. She was awarded a Padma Shri for her efforts. Last year, she turned 70, and with the villagers, she planted 70 local trees, which will help others long after she's gone. Respect to this ever smiling eco hero. Next up is news from Delhi, Old Delhi to be precise. This walled city was once Shah Jahanabad and is known as Chandni Chowk now. Lots of us have been here to shop or eat, and you always notice old crumbling Havelis, which must have at some point in time been thriving. Great news is that Intact and the Heritage Foundation of India have got working on restoring some of these Havelis, on restoring some of the 2,000 Havelis in the area to their former glory. The task is far from easy. One such Haveli is the Dharampura Haveli, which is finally restored after 6 years of painstaking work. With the help of historians and old pictures, the restored Haveli looks exactly like it did 150 years ago. With arches and stained glass windows, coupled with modern plumbing and electricity, the place is truly a marvel. It's open to tourists now who can live and experience the bygone era up close and personal. Besides rooms and a restaurant, the Haveli has a museum. They have regular Kathak performances, classical music mehfils, and even kite flying sessions. The residents of the area are beaming with pride and now more open to getting their Havelis restored too. You get off a high speed metro from New Delhi and walk into the magic of Old Delhi in a jiffy. A must do on my next trip to Delhi for sure. Now I have to tell you about something amazing in Pune. This is where an artistic farmer, Shrikant Inghalikar, has begun paddy art. This is a Japanese technique that he was impressed by. A mechanical engineer by education, Shrikant took to his family occupation of farming because being in the fields enticed him more than concrete offices. He grows Indrani rice like many others in his paddy fields. This is a white grain, and while he does grow brown rice too, in order to create stunning art, he needed another color. After a lot of research, he found out that black rice grown in the Kolhapur region could flourish here as well. Next, he chose a painting depicting Lord Ganesha and got a digital design done, keeping in mind the dimensions of his farm. For the next couple of months, he and his workers painstakingly sowed the seeds as per the design. Finally, when the crop grew from the distance in the breeze, you felt like Lord Ganesha was coming alive in front of you. The artwork does not lessen the crop in any way. In fact, it adds to the beauty of the place. Soon, people were sharing pictures on social media and even taking helicopter rides for an aerial view. The next year, his neighboring farmers approached him and suggested he create something that could include their fields as well. So, this year, you see an entire jungle coming to life in the fields. And hopefully, the government will encourage Shrikant and paddy art can boost ecotourism in the country. Before signing off, I must tell you about this couple from Delhi, Shankar and Rekha. They don't have too much money, but they have a lot of fun. They go discover new places regularly, eat their favorite foods together, sing songs, and claim there's no time to fight. That's because they promised each other when they got married that they would live each day with love and laughter. It could also be because their days are numbered as both are HIV positive. What's amazing is that they don't let the illness come in the way of doing what they want. Till a couple of years ago, they didn't know each other. Shankar was busy building his career, and Rekha was a housewife with a little child. Rekha's world turned when her husband took ill and was diagnosed with HIV. Rekha was tested and she was positive too. Her husband's health went downhill and he passed away soon. Rekha didn't know how to cope. She took up odd jobs but was distraught. The doctors suggested she join a group where HIV patients met and supported each other. She started going there, not expecting much. She took her little daughter along since there was no one to look after her at home. The little girl became friends with Shankar, who also attended the sessions. She played Cupid, and Shankar felt he could be a good father and husband this time around. Rekha was unsure. She knew society would condemn her move, but she decided to go ahead because it felt right. She's happy her daughter has a father who adores her, a stable education, and a home where singing and dancing is the norm. More power to this couple who truly live in the moment. That's it for today, and I'll be back next week with more delightful news from India. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and get vaccinated. For more interesting information on our country, please like and follow Good News Indians on Facebook. To hear more engaging podcasts, download the IVM app, go to the IVM website, or look for us wherever you get podcasts from. To stay in touch with me, you could look up Shifa Maitra on Twitter and Instagram. Since you heard and liked Smile India in English, you could check out our Hindi version too and recommend it to people who prefer podcasts in Hindi.
Hey everybody, it's been a great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Advertising is Dead, Varun talks to Paul Ravindranath Ji, Program Manager, Developer Relations, and Head of Google Accelerator for India. They discuss the startup ecosystem and how Google is enabling innovation through this program. On Shunya One, Sheila Datti and myself talk to Abel Joseph, founder and CEO of Aisle. We discuss how Aisle is a truly Indian dating app. It's not so much as a dating app as a matching app. It's a really interesting conversation. You should definitely check that out. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav uncovers the hidden injustice in India's languages and how it shapes the way we travel and interact with people. On the Life Manifesto, Zarina debunks leadership myths that are popular amongst people. And on Khel Niti, Rajiv Mishra, Nikhil Chopra, and Ayaz Memon discuss Australia winning the T20 World Cup. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, do check out our various YouTube channels. You can catch them on IVM Podcast/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week: Cred, Bank of Baroda, Quota, CoinSwitch, Kuber, Play Coffee, Intel, and Oxfam India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.